Hello everyone, this is Kanupriya, PGT Geography, and this is my second video on Chapter 1, which is Geography as a Discipline. In the previous class, we had discussed about geography. What is geography and how geography is interrelated to number of other sister disciplines. Here you can see a flowchart in which you can see how the various branches of natural and social sciences are related to geography. Like we have geology, which is related to geomorphology, climatology and meteorology, urban geography and planning urban studies, history and historical geography, economic geography, cultural geography, population geography, behavioral geography, political geography, and lot of more. So this is how geography is interrelated to number of other sister disciplines which we had discussed yesterday. Now we'll move to the next topic of this chapter. So let's start with it. Now comes the branches of geography. There are two main approaches to study geography, which are systematic approach and regional approach. The systematic approach was given by a German scholar named as Alexander von Humboldt, and regional approach was introduced by Karl Ritter, who was a contemporary of Alexander von Humboldt. Dear children, systematic approach is somehow similar to that of general geography. So let's discuss them one by one. What is systematic approach and what is regional approach? In systematic approach, a phenomena is studied world over as a whole, and then the identification of typologies or spatial patterns is done. In systematic approach, we study everything as a whole. And after that, we divide it into number of types. Like for example, if we have to study natural vegetation, we'll study about it as a whole. That means the natural vegetation of the world will be studied as a whole, and later on it will be classified into like equatorial rainforest, tropical deciduous forest, etc. So in systematic approach, everything will be studied as a whole in its totality. While in regional approach, the world is divided into different regions at different hierarchical levels, and all geographical phenomena related to a particular region are studied. So in regional approach, what we do, we divide the whole area into number of regions, and each region will be studied separately and not it in its totality. So each region in its local context will be studied in regional approach, while in systematic approach, everything will be studied in its totality. So this is the difference between regional approach and systematic approach. Now we have different branches of geography that are based on systematic approach. First we have physical geography, and under physical geography we have different sub-branches like geomorphology. The geomorphology word is comprised of three subwords, which is geo, morpho and logy. Here geo means earth, morphos means form and logy means study. It is that branch of geography which deals with the study of landforms, their evolution, their formation and the various associated courses related to landforms. Second one is climatology, which includes the study of structure of atmosphere, elements of weather, climate types and regions. Third one is hydrology. The word hydro is related to water. So this is that branch of geography which deals with the study of water over the surface of the earth, which includes oceans, rivers, lakes and other water bodies, and how these water bodies have their influence on various life forms on Earth and their activities. So, hydrology studies about water and their impact on various life forms and their activities. Then we have soil geography, which deals with the study of soil formation, their fertility status, etc. Second one is human geography. Under human geography, we have different sub-branches like social geography, population geography, settlement geography, economic geography, historical geography, political geography. In social geography, we study about society and its spatial dynamics as well as the cultural elements contributed by the society. In population geography, we study about growth of population, distribution of population, density of population, sex ratio, migration, occupational structure and number of other things which are related to population. In settlement geography, we mainly discuss about rural settlement and urban settlements. In rural areas like villages, what kind of settlements are found, and in urban areas, what kind of settlements are found. That is the subject matter of settlement geography. In economic geography, we discuss about the various economic activities. Like we have primary activities, secondary activities, tertiary activities, quaternary activities, quinary activities. So the subject matter of economic geography is related to the various economic activities that we found in our society. Then we have historical geography, in which we study about the temporal changes and how these form the concerns of historical geography. And last sub-branch of human geography is political geography, in which we study the area as a political body, in which we study about the boundaries between different countries, the relationship between different nations, political events, election scenario, and etc. So these are the sub-branches of human geography. The third branch of geography is biogeography. Under biogeography, we have plant geography, zoo geography, ecology, environmental geography. In plant geography, we study about the spatial pattern of natural vegetation in their habitats. In zoo geography, we study about the spatial pattern of animals and their habitat. In ecology, we study about the habitat characteristic of species. In environmental geography, we study about the various environmental problems such as pollution, land degradation, and various concerns for the conservation of nature and natural resources. So these are the various branches of geography that are based on systematic approach, like physical geography and its sub-branches, human geography and its sub-branches, and biogeography and its sub-branches. Now we have branches of geography based on regional approach. In this we have regional studies or area studies, which are comprised of macro, meso and micro regional studies. Then we have regional planning comprising of rural planning and urban planning. Third, we have regional development, and fourth, we have regional analysis. So firstly, what we do is to study the region at macro, meso and micro scale. After we'll do the planning of the region, then we'll do the development of the region, and then we analyze whether the developmental activities have been properly executed or not. So these are the different sub-branches of geography based on regional approach. There are two aspects which are common to every discipline. These are philosophy and methods and techniques. Under philosophy, we have geographical thought and land and human interaction or human ecology. Under methods and techniques, we have cartography, which includes computer cartography, quantitative techniques or statistical techniques, field survey methods, and lastly we have geoinformatics comprising techniques such as remote sensing, GIS, GPS, etc. So these are the two aspects which are common. The classification that is based on regional approach gives a comprehensive format of the branches of geography. Generally, geography curricula is taught and learnt in this format, but this format is not static. Any discipline is bound to grow with new ideas, problems, methods, and techniques. For example, what was once manual cartography has now been transformed into computer cartography. So, what is there in it that geography as a curricula is dynamic in nature? It will not remain same. Any discipline is bound to grow with new ideas, new methods, new problems, and new techniques. Like for example, manual cartography has now been transformed into computer cartography. Likewise, we have technology which has enabled scholars to handle large quantum of data. We have internet today which provide ample amount of information to all of us. We have GIS which has further opened vistas of knowledge. GPS has become a handy tool to find out exact location of a particular place or an individual. Technologies have enhanced the capacity of attempting synthesis with sound theoretical understanding. So this is how the discipline keeps on changing from time to time. As the new problems, new ideas, new technology come into existence, and then the whole method, the whole technique of studying that discipline will be changed. The last topic of this chapter is physical geography and its importance. What is the need of studying physical geography? What is its importance? So let's discuss. Physical geography includes the study of lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. As we all know, soils are formed through the processes of pedogenesis. And the factors that are very important for the formation of soil are parent rock, climate, biological activity, and time. Time provides maturity to soils and helps in the development of soil profile. Each element is important for human beings. Landforms provide the base on which human activities are located. The plains are utilized for agriculture. Plateaus provide forests and minerals. Mountains provide pastures, forests, tourist spots, and are sources of rivers providing water to lowlands. Climate influence our house types, clothing, and food habits. The climate has a profound effect on vegetation, cropping pattern, livestock farming, and some industries. Human beings have developed technologies which modify climatic elements in a restricted space such as air conditioners and coolers. Temperature and precipitation ensure the density of forest and quality of grassland. In India, monsoonal rainfall sets the agricultural rhythm in motion. Precipitation recharges the groundwater aquifers, which later provides water for agriculture and domestic use. We study oceans, which are the storehouse of resources. Besides fish and other seafood, oceans are rich in mineral resources. India has developed the technology for collecting manganese nodules from oceanic bed. Soils are renewable resources which influence number of economic activities such as agriculture. It also provides basis for the biosphere, accommodating plants, animals, and microorganisms. The study of physical geography is emerging as a discipline of evaluating and managing natural resources. In order to achieve this objective, it is essential to understand the intricate relationship between physical environment and human beings. Hence, a better understanding of physical environment is absolutely essential for sustainable development. So, physical geography has its importance, like we need to understand about landforms, we need to understand about soil, we need to understand about biosphere, we need to understand about oceans, because it has impact both on nature as well as human beings, and it will help for the preservation and conservation of our natural environment. So this is the end of the chapter 1, that is geography as a discipline. If you feel any doubt, please come up with your doubts. Thank you so much.